The title sounds a bit crazy. I mean, who in their right mind tries to compare a Greek myth and an anime?
Why is the music getting louder?
I should probably explain what the Odyssey and Demon Slayer respectively even are first before I get into this insane comparison. The Odyssey is an ancient Greek epic written by Homer and follows the travels of the king of Ithaca, Odysseus, as he tries to get home for 10 years after the end of the Trojan War. Along the way, he encounters many monsters, meets many gods, and goes through many challenges, whether that be physically or mentally. Kimetsu no Yaiba, also known as Demon Slayer, is a manga and anime series written by Koyoharu Gotoge. It's set in Taisho-era Japan in a world where demons exist and eat humans. To protect humanity from this, the Demon Slayer Corps emerged a long time ago. The main character is Tanjiro Kamado, and we watch as he goes on his journey as a Demon Slayer after his family was killed by the Demon King Muzan Kibutsuji. The only surviving member was his sister, Nezuko, who actually got turned into a demon. She's different, however, as she actually does not eat people. She sleeps to regain her strength, so she's a good demon. With that background info out of the way, let's talk about my first comparison. The Odyssey has many themes at play, but one of the main ones is actually loyalty. We see this in multiple ways throughout the text, but I'm gonna go over the main one in my opinion. Penelope is Odysseus' wife and the Queen of Ithaca. I'd say that her and Odysseus' bond is the best example of loyalty in the myth. You see, Odysseus had to go fight in the Trojan War even though he didn't want to. This left Penelope alone with their son Telemachus for 20 years. 10 of those years were the years that Odysseus was trying to get back home. Throughout the years, though, Penelope never lost hope of Odysseus returning. She had over 100 suitors trying to marry her, and she still held on strong. This also applies to the main themes in Demon Slayer, as shown through. Tanjiro's main goal as a Demon Slayer is to find a cure to turn his sister, Nezuko, back into a human. Because he's a Demon Slayer traveling with a demon, though, there is a bit of a target on his back. Many of the demons he fights know who he is because the Demon King, Muzan, wants him dead. There are many times when one of the siblings is in danger during a battle, about to die probably, and the other one comes to the rescue. The main one is the Entertainment District arc, when Tanjiro is unable to breathe properly, and he's about to be killed by a very strong demon. In response, Nezuko fights the demon so that she cannot hurt Tanjiro. They're always by each other's sides, and they're always showing how much they care about each other by literally saving the other one from death. The Odyssey's main plot beats are usually some sort of dangerous encounter that Odysseus and his crew have to navigate. These dangerous encounters are also usually a monster, such as Scylla or Polyphemus. Odysseus gets some help from the gods usually, and then he gets through the challenge. Or at least, Odysseus gets through the challenge. I wouldn't say his crew does, it just depends on which challenge we're talking about. This is pretty similar for Demon Slayer, as the main plot points are almost always Tanjiro and his friends fighting increasingly stronger demons. The main characters often get help from the Hashira, who are the strongest and most experienced demon slayers in the Corps. With this help, and Tanjiro's plot armor, the main characters end up beating whichever demon they're fighting at the moment. Speaking of the plot, another thing these two series have in common is this section is a bit of a stretch, but just bear with me here, okay? One of the main themes in the Odyssey, albeit a bit more minor compared to the others, is ruthlessness. This is mainly shown with Odysseus and the suitors. Essentially, Odysseus wants the suitors dead because they're trying to marry his wife, and he follows through on that when he gets his revenge after returning to Ithaca. Tanjiro is a very kind and forgiving person, but he holds a special hatred for Muzan Kibutsuji and wants to kill him because Muzan murdered his family. He follows through on this in the final arc of Demon Slayer with the rest of the Corps when Muzan is finally defeated. I'm well aware that was a lot, but I've still got a little more yapping to do if you're willing to stick with me. I'd say it is. Not only are its themes universal and its plot progression iconic, but the specific story still resonates with people today. The two main examples of this that I know of are Percy Jackson and Epic the Musical, as they introduce Greek mythology to a younger generation, me, in a fun, engaging way. In terms of a broader scale, the Odyssey remains relevant today through its use of the hero's journey. A lot of works today still use this format. Demon Slayer is just one of many. I think that of the two pieces of media I'm comparing here, they both showcase the hero's journey equally well in their own way. Both works follow it heavily, but not exactly, as most writers usually add their own flair to their stories. These two are no exception. They're also both equally authentic stories, in my opinion, as both authors draw on what they know for their plot. In Homer's case, he lived in ancient Greece, and therefore was exposed to a lot of poetry about heroes and gods and epic journeys. This most likely influenced him when he created the Odyssey. For Koyoharu Gotoge, they managed to draw inspiration from other manga and anime like JoJo's Bizarre Adventure, Naruto, and Bleach, to name a few. I feel like that just about wraps up this admittedly very odd comparison. Thanks for listening to my incoherent ramblings, and bye!